Hello, hello, and welcome back to the art room. This is another one of my preschool projects. All right, we're in November now, so we're getting into Thanksgiving. I know one of the questions I tend to get is, do you have any really good books on Thanksgiving that you would recommend to for me to read to my smaller children? And I do have an awesome book that I can recommend. I can't read it on here, obviously, for copyright reasons, but I will highly recommend that to find this at your local library or wherever you like to get your books from. But I really like this book. It's called Bear Says Thanks. I tend to read it to my preschoolers every year. Bear Says Thanks is by Karma Wilson and Jane Chapman. And it's a really wonderful book. It talks about, obviously Thanksgiving and coming together and sharing and doing what we can to share on Thanksgiving. So I love it. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it. So definitely check that one out if you can. All right. So what we're going to be doing today, our little art project for today, is we're going to make this nice little scarecrow face out of a paper plate. Okay. All right. So what you're going to need is you're going to need one paper plate. Right? If you don't have a paper plate, but you do have like a large piece of white paper, just cut a circle out of it. It works, right? All right. The art room's motto for the year is use what you got, right? So use whatever you've got at home. Any substitutions that you need to make, as usual in any of our art lessons and art videos this year, just substitute whatever you need to substitute, right? So I'm gonna use a paper plate for this. I also usually for this project I will draw on a red piece of paper. I will draw the hat, and I will draw this little upside down triangle. I flip it right side up, and then we use that as the nose. Right? This is a good one for getting the practice with using the scissors. I also do two little circles for the cheeks, the pink little cheeks. All right, on the scarecrow. So if you've got like a pink piece of paper, and if you just have white paper, what you could do is you could give them white paper, and if they have something to color in, you could have them color in one sheet red, and then have them color in another sheet pink, and then just use that. So that's a good way to substitute for if you don't have construction paper. So that's what I usually do, is I draw this kind of shape for the hat. On the top, and there's no wrong way to do it. Honestly, if your hat looks a little different, that's totally fine, because there are different hats in the world, right? So this is what I usually do. I usually draw this. If you want to pause this at all and follow that shape, I usually do that on one sheet, and then I draw the two circles on the pink. And then I always pre-cut for them. I pre-cut some yellow strips for the hair. You'll see I use it for that straw, that's the hair, and the straw that's down here around the collar. So you want a couple strips of that yellow to use. You need something that's going to be able to, an adhesive of some sort, like a glue stick or a glue bottle or tape or a stapler. If you're using a stapler, I would just recommend that you don't let your preschool use the stapler. You can kind of help them with that. But yes, that is what you can use. If you have safety scissors, I would recommend using the safety scissors with your child. And if you have to do hand over hand, which is of course where you kind of put your hand on top of theirs while they are using the scissors and kind of help them, guide them with that until they've got it on their own. That's also a good thing to be doing. I usually use googly eyes for this. I don't actually have any extra googly eyes right now in my room, so I'm just going to show you how to draw those, and then I usually have them draw the little smile. So that's all the components that we'll need to put this together. Let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we need to do, we've got this. I've got our plate, okay? We need to go ahead and we need to start cutting out our shapes, okay? So go ahead and get your scissors. Remember, my preschool friends, that your thumb is on top and your fingers are on the bottom. So you see how my thumb is through the top loop and my fingers are through the bottom loop, and I can open and close the scissors with one hand, okay? That's what I want to do. With my other hand, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold the paper, okay, that I want to cut the shapes out from. It's basically like, we call it like driving a car. I'm going to try to drive my car, my scissors, right? My scissors are the car. I'm going to try to drive my car on the road, okay? The road would be that black line, okay? So I'm going to start by cutting out this little triangle, right? I'm going to start cutting into the paper. Like I said, your grown-up might want to help you out with this with a little hand over hand until you've got it. I'm turning the paper. That's probably the best thing that I can give to you right now at this age, is trying to get you into the habit of turning the paper, because that will really help you when you're trying to cut things out. All right, so I've got that triangle for the nose. Perfect. We've got a nose now. All right, next I got to keep going. I got to cut out the hat, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and if it takes you longer, remember, you're just learning. You're practicing. You're learning how to use the scissors. It takes time. If you need to pause the video at any time, or if you need to rewatch it to keep up with me, that's totally normal. That's totally fine. That's why it's great that it's we're in a video format, right? So you can do that. Right, I'm going to go ahead, get my car onto that road. All right, I'm going to cut along the black line. If you go off of the black line, see, I went off the black line a little bit. All I gotta do is I gotta back my scissors up, and I'm gonna put my scissors back and put the car back on the road and keep going. It's no big deal. It's no big deal if you go off the road a little bit. Just do your best. That's all we care about here in the art room, is we want you just doing your best. The more practice you do, the better you get at things, right? All right. I'm going to finish cutting out my hat. Nice big hat. There we go. To go on top of that plate. All right. So I've got those. Next, I need to cut out my 2 little pink circles for those pink little cheeks for my Scarecrow. All right. So I'm going to take my pink paper. Okay. And get my car onto the road. I'm turning. Do you see how with this hand, the whole hand that's holding the paper, I'm turning the paper as I go. I'm turning as I go. There we go. And now I've got 1 circle. That's the best strategy that I can teach you, is turning that paper as you go. And it takes practice. It takes practice. Everybody who knows how to do this had to learn it at some point. So you got to practice it until you got it. Another pink cheek. All right. Because I'm a responsible artist, I'm not just going to let my trash stay on the floor, right? I'm going to pick up my trash. And my trash goes where, my friends? It goes in the trash can. That's right. So go ahead and gather up all your trash, right? Stuff you don't need anymore, and go put it in the trash can. That's right. A responsible artist always cleans up after themselves. So whenever you make a mess, you always clean it up. All right. So I've gone ahead and I've got all my pieces. Now it's time to actually put them together to make this. Okay. So I'm going to start by getting out my glue stick. Okay. I'm going to roll it up. If I roll it up all the way, what's going to happen? It's going to fall out. That's right. So I just want to roll it up just a little bit so I can see that glue. All right. I'm going to start with the hat. Okay. On the back of the hat, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue down here where it's going to touch the paper. So if I take the plate and I put it up here where I want the hat to be, I'm going to look where it's going to touch. It's going to be this part right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down there. So go ahead with your grown-up, put some glue on that hat. Stick that hat down onto the plate. Yes. All right, push it down. Yay! Now we got a hat. Sweet. Okay, next part, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my straw, put a little bit of glue on it. Right? This is going to be my hair, the straw hair. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since this glue hasn't set yet, I'm able to kind of pick up the brim of the hat just a little bit and kind of tuck the yellow paper underneath there. There we go. And I like doing it this way instead of putting the straw on first. When I can, I like to do it this way just because this way you can actually see where the hat is going to be. So you can kind of tuck the straw and kind of arrange the straw, put the straw where you want to put it, right? Got it right where you want it to make it look the best that you want it to look. Right, so I'm going to tuck that underneath the brim of the hat. Right, get some straw underneath there. Make sure you put some glue on it. You only need glue on one side of things. Sometimes I have preschoolers that put glue on both sides when they're only going to stick it down to, one place. So remember, only one side of your paper needs glue. All right, so this is what it should look like. I will show you. All right, one side of the paper has glue, and one side of the paper does not have glue. The side of the paper that has glue, I'm going to stick that side down onto the plate. Makes sense, right? That's how it sticks. All right. And the more you practice at this, the better you'll get at this. So no worries. No worries. If you're out there worrying, don't. All right? Don't worry about this at all. It's going to take more practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get. So I put glue on one side. See that? Only one side has glue. The other side does not have glue. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it under the hat. And that way I can kind of arrange it, like I said, so I can kind of see where the hair is. I can get the hair just where I want it. All right, so I've got the hair in place, I've got the hat in place. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw the eyes, okay? If you have, I usually provide the students with big googly eyes for it. If you have big googly eyes, feel free to get some bottle glue and kind of glue those down. If not, all you got to do is draw 2 nice big circles, all right? And then put 2 dots in there, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and do that up here so you can see me while I do this. So if I was doing that in front of you, I do circle, circle, and then I do dot. I'm coloring in that dot, dot. And there you go. You got some eyeballs. Eyeballs for your scarecrow. Okay, so he's got eyeballs. Next, I'm going to use that glue. I'm going to get the nose, that triangle, all right, and I want this triangle pointing up, okay, so the tip of the triangle is pointing up. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back. Remember, I only need glue on one side, okay? I'm going to put this triangle right in the middle, right between those eyes. Look at that. There we go. Next, I've got his 2 little pink cheeks, all right? So rosy cheeks. I'm going to glue one down here and one down there, right where his cheeks would be. So if you look at my face, I've got 2 eyes, a nose right here, and then my cheeks are right here, and you can really see it when I smile. See that? Cheek right here, okay? So that's why we want them kind of underneath those eyeballs and on either side of the nose, right? So like we talked about, what you're going to do when you're putting the glue down, you just want to pick one side of the paper and put the glue on one side. So this is one side with the glue. This side does not have glue. The side with the glue, I'm going to go ahead and stick down, right, onto the paper. Let's try that again. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the other one. One side has glue, one side does not have glue, right? And I'm going to stick this one down right here. And there you go. I'm almost done. I just need to take whatever you were drawing with earlier to make those eyeballs. I'm just going to take that. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little smile in between those cheeks. So he's smiling. He's happy about being a scarecrow. All right, we're almost done. You're almost there. You're so close. You've got a few pieces left, I hope, of your straw, right? Because we're going to make that little collar that comes down here, that little straw bit that's down here, right? All we got to do is I'm going to take my little slices of straw, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on them, and I'm going to flip my scarecrow over to the back, okay? So now I'm looking at the back of my scarecrow, all right? So flip him over, put some dots of glue on your straw, and then stick your straw down here at the bottom, all right? At the bottom, so the hat's up here. This is down here where the straw is. You're going to stick some straw down at the bottom to make that straw color for your scarecrow. All right, this will be so lovely, a nice November fall craft, right? Scarecrows are used in the fields to deter the birds from coming in and destroying the crops or picking at the crops. So the scarecrow kind of scares them away, and that's what's part of the name. It's got scare and crow in it. And there you go. You got a nice little collar for your nice little scarecrow, right? And there you go. I hope you enjoyed making our craft together. I hope you had a good time, and I will see you next time. Enjoy. I hope you had some great family time together. All right, see you next time. Bye.